So today we're going to be practicing for Earth Day, and we're going to start lying down. So go ahead and lay back, and if you want to support, you put a little support under your head, and then we'll start lying down. So I just want to get really close to the earth as we lie down. So I want to just get your legs extended, let your arms rest with the palms facing up towards your ceiling. And then once you're in a nice, comfortable position, we're going to close the eyes and just become aware of your physical body and all the places where it's touching the earth. So we'll start with the back of the head. So you want to feel your head nice and heavy, the backs of your shoulders, and then down your spine, and then feeling both of your hips and the legs all the way down to your heels. And then we're going to feel from the tops of your feet and then your fronts of your legs and your hips, your belly, your ribs, and the heart center nice and open towards the sky, your face, your throat, and then the arms. The palms are facing upwards. And then let's just become aware of our breath as it flows in and out of your nose. So let's take a deep breath to begin. And then just exhale with an audible sigh. And then just let go of any holding, any efforting, any tension. Just allowing your breath to flow in and out with ease. Letting go of any distracting thoughts. So just allow any tension to dissolve from your body, any place where you're holding, just releasing it down into the earth. Feeling very supported here. Letting go of any thoughts as they arise. So breathing in, and as you breathe out, you're just letting them go. And then just feel your breath moving in through the nose, down into your body, and then back out again, so that each breath becomes a continuous circle, right? So inhaling, exhaling. And just see if you can find that circular breathing pattern. Continuing to breathe in and out with ease. So maybe you'll start to deepen the breath, feeling it moving into your ribs, maybe down into your belly. And then on that next in-breath, we're going to place your left hand at your heart center and your right hand on top. And we'll begin our practice today with an intention, maybe just focusing on something that we can do to serve, something we can do to help protect our earth. And then once you've set that intention, we're going to stretch the arms up. So I want you to really reach your arms up over your head, lengthen out the body, stretch out through those feet. Take a deep breath in, and then on your out breath, we're going to pull the right knee into your chest. So I want you to just hold onto the shin, just hug it in. And then we're going to just take that leg, we're going to circle it around. And then we'll circle in the other direction. And then we're going to move into reclining tree pose. So you're going to let that foot come down. We're going to place the foot to your inner left thigh, so anywhere on that leg. And then just allow your inner thigh to release. Knee opens to the side. And then still feeling that connection on your left leg. So just flexing the left foot. Feel both of your hips dropping down into the earth. And then you can stay here with your arms by your side, but if you want to add, you can also extend the arms up over your head for like an extended tree pose. And just let the shoulders soften wherever you are. Breath is flowing in and out. And then really nice here to be able to visualize some trees. So maybe thinking of some trees that are maybe in your own yard, or maybe a favorite trail that you like to go and explore. And we'll stay in here for another breath. And then as you exhale, we're going to release the leg. So you're going to point your knee up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to stretch the leg out. And if your arms are still up over your head, let them float down to the floor and just come back to that reclined mounted pose. Flexing your feet. Feel the heels pressing down into the earth. And then as your next inhale comes along, we're going to reach the arms up over your head. Find that stretch. And then as you exhale, we're going to pull the left knee in. And you're going to hold onto your shin, hug it in, and we're going to circle that around. So just moving in a way that's gentle. Feeling that hip starting to release, go both directions. And then we'll be placing that foot onto your inner right leg, just allowing the inner thighs to release as you open the leg out. Keeping the arms by your side, or if you want to add that in, you can swoop the arms up over your head and holding them there. And then just feel very grounded on the right side of your body, right leg, right hip. Feel your breath flowing in and out. So as the trees start to blossom with leaves and some with flowers, I just want you to visualize all of that, the green, the colors, pinks, yellows, and whites. And then on that next exhalation, you're going to release the arms, extend the leg, and let's come back to that reclined mounted pose. Finding that breath again. And then slowly just bending those knees one at a time, placing feet on the floor. Arms are pressing down into the earth. And we're just going to take a little tiny bridge pose. So I want you to press down into your feet to lift the hips and then lower them down. So just a couple more up and down, just a little tiny bridge. Just to wake up our hips. And let's do one more. We're going to lift up and then lower down, and we're going to make our way onto our belly. So we're going to roll over. So the two things we're going to be exploring today is going to be the elements of earth and water. So we just did earth, and we're going to flip over into our stomach, and we're going to explore the element of water. So I want you to just stack up your hands and rest your head here. And we're going to breathe into the belly. So as you're breathing, I want you to feel your stomach pressing out into your mat. And then as you exhale, let the belly rise up in towards the spine. So our body is made up of water. So we're just going to think about that as we tap into our water element, which is associated with our second chakra. And we'll just take one more breath into the belly and just exhale all of the breath out. We're going to turn our head to center, and we're going to let the arms stretch along by our side, thumbs down, pinkies up, and we're just going to bring our chin to the mat. So as you breathe in, we're going to fill up with breath, and then you're going to exhale your breath out. We're going to come up on the next inhale. I want you to feel like you're floating away from the floor, away from the earth, as you inhale. And then on the exhale, you're letting the body lower down. But as the next inhale comes along, we're lifting back up again. So just visualize like this wave as your body lifts and lowers with your breath. So feeling the ebb and flow of each inhalation and exhalation. Moving into your locust pose. So keep going with your breath. Feeling that rising and falling. We'll just do 2 more of those. And on the last one, we're going to lift up. And then exhale, come all the way down to the ground and just turn your palms up, turn your head to either direction. Let the shoulders soften. And then slowly bend your elbows, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to make our way up into tabletop. So you're going to press yourself up to hands and knees. And then we're going to widen out the knees and stretch back into a child's pose. So as you stretch back here, you can have your arms extended or you can bend them to rest your head. And then maybe just moving in a little side to side motion, just letting the hips release. Return to that circular breathing pattern. And then as you inhale, we're going to reach the arms forward and come into tabletop position. And we're going to flow through some cat and cow pose, spreading the fingers wide. And then as you exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone. You're going to look between your legs. And then on your in-breath, you're lifting your tailbone, lifting your gaze. So you're moving with your own breath as it flows in and out of your nose, moving your spine. Eyes can be opened or closed. Get 2 more rounds of breath. And you're going to come to your neutral spine. We're going to tuck the toes under, stretch your hips back, and then start to peel up into your downward facing dog pose. And then start to just pedal out the feet, so pressing one heel down than the other. You can shake out your head. You can look underneath of your arms. And last breath here, we're going to inhale and exhale all the breath out. And then we're going to slowly walk your feet up to your hands. So we're going to come into a standing forward bend. And then on your in-breath, we're going to lift and lengthen. So just go ahead and bring those hands up to your thighs. Feel your spine lengthening. And then we're going to slowly bend the knees to come into a chair pose. So we're going to start out with a grounding element. So in your chair pose, I want you to really feel your feet here. So lift and spread your toes so that you can feel the heels pressing down and your toe mounds pressing down. And then let those toes come back down, spread them out, and then push down through your feet to straighten your legs. And then inhale, reach the arms up high. And then as you exhale, let the arms come all the way down by your side. So we're going to move through a grounding flow first, and then we'll go into more of a water element flow. So let's begin in your mountain pose. So just close the eyes. I want you to feel your feet on the earth. Take a breath in and out. Find gratitude for the earth beneath us, supporting us, allowing us to feel safe. And then open your eyes. We're gonna inhale, circle the arms up high. And then on your out breath, we're gonna fold all the way down. You're gonna touch the earth with your fingertips. On your in breath, we're coming up halfway. And then as you exhale, you're gonna bring your hands down. We're gonna step back with your left foot into a runner's lunge. Hold it there for a breath and really lengthen the spine. And then we're gonna step back into a plank pose. So you'll be here in a plank pose. You can always lower those knees down. And then really strong here in the plank. We're gonna exhale, lower yourself down to the ground. And then keeping the hands underneath the shoulders, we're gonna move into a cobra flow. So pressing down through the hips and the tops of your feet. As you inhale, we're lifting. As you exhale, lower down. We're gonna do 2 more of those with your breath. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Last one, as you lift up into the cobra pose, continue pressing all the way up. And then stretch your hips back, tuck the toes, and we're gonna come into downward facing dog pose from there. And then just 3 breaths. So really finding that connection, feeling the feet and the hands on the earth. Inhale and exhale. And then we're gonna step forward with your left foot. So we're coming into that runner's lunge again. So lifting the gaze, reaching back through your right foot. And then stepping the right foot forward to meet the left. We're now in a forward fold. And then bending the knees, we're gonna come right into chair. So bring your hands into heart center, sink in, press down through your feet, reach the arms up high. And then as you exhale, hands come to heart center. And then just close your eyes, return to your breath, breathing in and out of your nose. And then we're going to do the sun salutations for the water element. So it's going to be a little more flowy. So our focus is going to be really flowing with the breath. So it'll feel a little different. So we're going to inhale, let's circle the arms up high. And then as you exhale, we're going to reach the arms forward. I want you to think about painting the wall in front of you with your hands. You're just flowing down to the earth. And then as you inhale, we're going to flow back up again. And exhale. Good, and then we're gonna let the hands come down to the earth. We're gonna step back with the right foot and we're gonna lower the knee down to the mat and untuck the toes. On your in-breath, we're floating the arms up. And then just coming into a nice Anjaneyasana, opening up the heart. As you exhale, float the arms down. We're going to transition into a plank pose. So you're going to step back with the left foot. So you can stay with the knees down or up. And then as you exhale, lower down to the earth. And then we're coming into locust pose. So your arms are reaching long by your side. And we're lifting with the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling, lifting up again. Exhaling down. One more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower down. Hands are moving up under the shoulders, pressing up to tabletop, stretching hips back and tucking toes, coming into downward facing dog pose. And then here, we're just gonna move for 3 breaths. So just any movement that feels good on your body. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we're going to step forward on the next in-breath with the right foot and lower the left knee down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Inhale, arms reach up nice and high. Heart center is open. And then exhaling, bring hands down to the earth as you step forward with the left, forward fold. And then we're keeping the knees bent as we float all the way up. And then circle the arms around and ending them with the heart center. Eyes are closed. And then releasing the arms down. So that's what we're going to do. This next bit is going to be, we're going to do a flow, like a warrior series in the earth element. Now we'll do another series with the water element. So we're going to start out. We're going to step back with your right foot. So we're going to open right into a warrior two. So we're going to open up. So remember, in the earth element, we're connected really strongly through our legs and feet, and we have this support here in our root chakra. So I want you to lift up so your pelvic floor and your lower belly muscles are supporting us, as well as all the energy that rises up from the earth into our feet and legs. All right, so arms are nice and wide, our breath is smooth and steady. Good. One more breath, and then we're going to reach up and back, reverse warrior. So your gaze is lifted. Breath is still flowing in and out with ease. And then we're going to come into side angle pose. So you can bring your forearm to your thigh, and we're going to reach all the way up and over into extended side angle pose. And your gaze can be down or up. And then we're going to return to the warrior two, and we'll straighten that front leg. So we're going to lengthen the whole side body as we shift forward, and then finding that triangle pose. So arms are splitting apart, finding all this breath here to support. And then press down into your feet. We're coming up, and then turning the feet so they're parallel. And then exhale, let's come all the way down to the earth. Hands can come to the floor. Let your head relax. Press your fingertips down into the earth. Lift your belly. And then both of your hands are going to walk over to the other foot. So we're just going to switch sides. So you're turning your foot out. And then press down into the earth as you roll up into your warrior two, second side. Gaze forward. Feel that deep connection to the earth beneath us. And then reverse your warrior, floating that arm up, reaching up. Big breath in. Exhale it out. One more breath. And then moving into side angle pose, forearm to thigh, and then we're sweeping that arm all the way up and over. And then to your warrior two, straightening that front leg, keeping that length in your side body as we reach forward, and then just letting that arm come down. So you're widening out those arms, filling up with breath. Gaze can be down or up. Press into your feet. We're coming all the way back up, turning those feet. Exhale, hinge and fold down to the earth. And then you're walking your hands to the front of your mat. Feet are turning with you. Stepping back to your plank pose. Exhaling, lowering down to the floor. We're going to take one cobra or upward facing dog pose. So inhale, lift. Stay there for a breath. And then we're going to transition to child's pose. Knees are wide, hips reach back. And then take your arms all the way back towards your feet. So I just want you to hold on to the feet and maybe give yourself a little massage here on the bottoms of your feet. And one more big breath in. Exhale it all out. And then as you inhale, reach the arms forward, come into tabletop position. So you're back to those hands and knees. And we're going to start with some circles. So we're going to move into water element here. So just circling the torso around. And go ahead and move in the opposite direction. So just pick a place to turn the other way. And last rotation around. We're going to tuck the toes. We're going to come into downward facing dog pose. Take a deep breath in and out. And then on your in-breath, we're gonna extend and reach the right leg back. We're gonna bend the knee, bring it into your chest. We're gonna step it forward and then just pivot down onto the left heel. And we're rolling all the way up to your warrior one. Stretching the arms up nice and high. Give a deep breath in and out. We're gonna let the arms come forward and we're gonna move with the arms. So we're gonna open upward, we're gonna give a big hug, and then we're gonna bring the arms together. So you can add a little bit more lift here if you wanna open up the heart center, and then pull the arms together. We've got 3 more of these. Inhale and exhale. And then as your arms reach back this next time, we're gonna bring the hands together and clasp them. And then just stretch the arms straight. And like a wave, we're gonna nod the chin to the chest. We're gonna come forward, and then you're gonna lift and open your chest to come up. And so I want you to think about a spinal wave here. So maybe starting out a little bit of a round back, and then lift up in more of an extension. 2 more of these. Good. On this last one, we're going to stay. And then just let the arms stretch up. So think humble warrior. Deep breath in and out. Last breath, your hands are going to come down to your mat. And we're going to transition to your plank pose. Exhale, lower knees first, then hips, then chest. Arms reach long, locust pose. Riding the wave of your breath. Good, last one, lift. Exhale, lower, bring your hands under the shoulders. We're transitioning, tabletop. Hips reach back towards heels, and then tuck the toes, downward facing dog pose. Inhale fully. Exhale, let it go. Inhale again. Exhale, release the breath. Inhale, let's take the left leg up. And then bending the knee into your chest, let's step that foot forward. Coming into your warrior one on this side. So we're rolling all the way up, reaching the arms up high. And then we're gonna bring the arms forward and then open wide, big hug. Exhale. Inhale. A couple more of these. Good. One more, reaching forward. And then as you pull the arms back, we're going to clasp them. And then thinking about that wave again. So let's go the opposite way. So we're leading with the heart center open, and then we're coming up, tucking chin and chest. So it's just the opposite from the last time we did it. So you're still tapping into those earth elements too, because we're really grounded in our legs and our stomach, all the muscles in our core. Good, last one, we're gonna stay here in this humble warrior. Deep breath in and out. And then on the next exhalation, your hands are gonna come down to your mat. We're gonna step back to plank pose. Exhale, lower down to the floor. This time we're gonna stack up those hands and we're gonna come into crocodile pose. Just want you to relax here. Find that breath again. Deep breath into the belly. Good, last breath. And then draw the hands under the shoulders. We're going to press up to tabletop. And then tuck the toes, downward facing dog pose. And then feet walking to hands, standing forward bend. And then press down into your feet and roll yourself all the way up. And then just roll the shoulders at the top. Okay, so we're going to do tree pose because we have to do tree pose. It's Earth Day, right? So let's go ahead and find mountain pose. And I really want you to connect to the earth with those feet. So again, lift and spread the toes. Feel the 4 corners of your feet. So as you move into the tree pose, I want you to close your eyes first, and I just want you to visualize a tree, right? So it could be a tree in your yard, it could be a tree that you see every single day, it could be a tree that you just are aware of, maybe you even meditate by this tree. And we're gonna put this tree image into our head, and I want you to be the tree. So first, we have to think about the root structure that lives underneath of the earth. So visualize those roots growing down from your feet into the earth. This is your support system, right? So you can choose either foot to be your standing leg first. Okay, so we're gonna start, we're gonna bend the opposite leg, and we're gonna bring your foot starting on the ankle, and hands will come to heart center. So this is where we're all gonna begin. This is like our tree to start out with. So the tree is just a baby tree right now. And as the tree starts to receive the earth elements, right, everything filling up, all the nutrients from the earth and the water and the sun, it starts to grow. Okay, so maybe your tree is getting a little bigger, and maybe you're having your arms come out. So branches are starting to sprout out, and you're getting little leaves growing on your tree. And then maybe your tree is a few years older and it's getting even bigger. And so you're expanding out a little bit more. Still visualizing those roots growing down into the earth. And now your tree is getting older. So what happens sometimes is the branches get a little twisted up. And sometimes it leans a little bit to one side. So this is where you're gonna just find your creativity in your tree. It does not have to look like my tree for sure. Okay, and then stay wherever you are. Maybe you're still in the baby tree mode, or maybe you're in the old tree mode, or maybe somewhere in between. But that's your perfect tree wherever you are. And then we're gonna make our way back to mountain pose just as slowly as you came in. And then we're gonna close the eyes. Finding your breath, feeling your feet on the earth. And let's go ahead and move to the other side. So again, you're growing those roots. It's receiving lots of nutrients from the earth, so you're very strong. This is your tree trunk. Right? And then just placing your foot here, we're gonna start in baby tree, shrub mode. And then you're gonna add on to whatever. So maybe your tree's a couple years old and it's just starting to get, a little taller, little branches, little leaves. Maybe your tree has flowers on it. So maybe your tree lives in a windy area and it tends to grow in the opposite direction because the wind's blowing it. So you're gonna pick. Maybe your tree is very crooked. Maybe it's twisted, I don't know. My tree's a little twisted right now. Stay with the breath. Good, last breath. And we're gonna make our way back to mountain pose. And we're closing the eyes. And I want you to find a lot of love and gratitude for our earth. Okay, and then open your eyes. We're just gonna roll down to the floor. So just take your time to come down. And we're gonna make our way down to seated. And once you come to a seated position, we're gonna stretch those legs out in front of us. And we're just gonna pay attention to our feet because our feet are so important because they touch the earth, right? So our feet receive the earth energy. So I want you to spread your toes and wiggle them around. And then maybe flexing and pointing, so your ankles and your feet. And I want you to feel your hips. So your sitting bones, maybe rocking a little bit right and left so that you can feel your sitting bones connected to the earth as well. So when we're seated, we ground from different points, right? So when we're standing, we totally connect with our feet. When we're seated, we connect with our sitting bones. So I want you to feel them dropping down into the earth. And we're gonna extend the arms up nice and high. So palms are facing each other, shoulders are relaxed. We're gonna take a breath here. And then on your out breath, we're gonna slowly hinge forward from your hips. And then you're gonna hold on to your feet. So you can bend your knees And you can hold on to the outer edges of your feet, the inner edges, or maybe you can just hold on to those big toes. And just close your eyes. So we're going to use our water element here. So I want you to really focus on the breath. So allow the breath to flow in and then maintain that nice long spine. And then as you exhale, I want you to sink down in deeper to the pose. I want you to feel your belly on your thighs. So that's where I want your knees to be bent, because I want you to feel that sensation of your belly being on your thighs. Stay here for a couple more breaths, but don't feel like the pose is ever stagnant. I want you to feel like it's always moving, it's always evolving. And then what keeps us there is the breath. The breath is always moving in and out, so it gives us the sensation of being able to move instead of being still. So if you visualize like the water, and then if you have anything that's in the water, it always has this little movement in it. So if you think about seaweed or anything in the ocean that kind of moves with the water. All right, so we're gonna release and come up all the way up. And then when we get up here, just want you to roll those shoulders out. All right, so we're gonna bend both of our knees and we're gonna come into cobbler pose. So as you bend your knees out, you're gonna bring the soles of your feet together. We're gonna sit up really tall here. Again, think about those sitting bones as you connect to the earth. So first, we're gonna think about a butterfly, right? So butterflies flap their wings. So we're gonna just do a little bit of that, flapping your wings. Just allow the inner thighs to soften. Take a couple more breaths. And then we're gonna move in a circle, right? So we're gonna come forward, and then we're gonna go over to one side, then back and the other. So just circling around. And you can close your eyes. You can really feel the sensation in your hips and inner thighs as we do these circles. So if you're tighter here, the circles really help to loosen up any tension. And let's go ahead and reverse, go the other way. And we'll do one more circle around. And what I want to do now is I want to come into, I love doing like little animal poses. So we're going to do the tortoise pose, which is why I'm having you loosen up your hips. So we're going to take our legs out a little wider, and you can keep your knees bent for this whole thing, okay? So your arms are going to dive underneath of your shins. So you can hold on to your ankles, on the outside of your ankles. So here you're thinking about, okay, this feels really interesting, but if it feels really tight, I want you to just soften. Wherever it feels tight, I want you to soften. Still feel those sitting bones and close your eyes. We're going to take a big breath in with a long spine, and then as you exhale, see if you can sink a little deeper. Maybe stretch your legs out a little bit more. So each breath is going to give you an opportunity to explore your body. If you think about a turtle and its shell, right? So if you take your chin and bring it into your chest, it's almost like you're going into your shell. And then as you kind of pull your elbows back into your thighs, see if you can lengthen your spine and even lift up your gaze. So do that a couple times. So rounding your back, creating your little turtle shell. And then as you inhale, see if you can just peek your head out of your turtle shell. Okay, do that a couple more times, rounding and extending. And we'll just do one more because it's fun. And then we're gonna release those hands and see if you can straighten out your legs and just come to a wide-legged fold. Your knees can stay bent here. Stay with the breath. And then we're gonna walk those hands in and come up. And we're gonna shake the legs together. All right, so let's make our way back down to the floor onto our backs. So you're gonna turn, face alongside, and just gonna roll down nice and slow to come down. And then knees are gonna stay bent here. And we're just gonna rock a little bit right and left just to kind of release any tension in our hips or lower back. And then your arms are gonna come down by your side, and we're gonna revisit some bridging. So we're going to press down to your feet. So this is where you're grounding here. This and the shoulders stay down. Remember, the hips come up. So you have to ground at some point. So feet and shoulders stay down. And you can have your hands even pressing down. So we're going to take a breath. And as you exhale, press down into your feet and lift up your hips. And then keep pressing the shoulders down. And we're going to stay up in this bridge, but we're going to add some movement while we're here. Right, so we're just going to let the right hip start to move down towards the floor, but you're going to keep the left hip lifted. And then you're going to bring that right hip back up. And then you're going to let the left hip come down. So then we're thinking here, it's kind of like a wave, right? So you're moving your hips, letting one hip drop up, and then they come back to meet each other, and then drop the other. So it's some grounding elements with the feet and everything, but it's also a little bit of movement here. Let's do one more and finish up. And then we're going to let those hips come down. And then relax the hips down, maybe rock a little bit, windshield. And if you want to come into supported bridge, you can grab a block or a pillow or a towel. And we're going to lift up the hips and we're going to put the block underneath. Okay, so it's just going to let our body sink down into that support first. Rest your hands on the front of your hips. Take some deep breaths in and out. Just let go of any efforting. And you can stay here. I'll give you a couple options. You can stretch your legs forward, and this really opens up the whole front of your body. So the hip flexors and the hips and the belly. It also opens up and stretches all the tissue here, so we can be very open to breath. So you can take some big, wide, expansive breaths into your ribs, and the diaphragm just moves down here and just allows for all that breath to come in. And you can stay in here for a couple breaths. But if you like to take your legs up, you can do that too, right? So maybe go to both. And if you want to stretch your legs up towards the ceiling, then you can work your feet a little bit, taking them off the earth, circling them around, wiggling the toes, maybe walking on the ceiling. So you could just flex those feet and just pretend you're walking on the ceiling or in the sky. And if you do this outside, it's really nice because you can see the clouds floating by as you're doing it. You're like walking on the clouds. It's really fun. Yeah, I wish it was nicer out there. It's really cold today. I love to practice outside. It's so awesome. Usually on Earth Day, I go outside and take off my shoes and socks and walk on the grass. I might still do it. It's cold, but I'll still do it. And then we're going to make our way out. So you're going to bend your knees and let your feet come down to the mat. And then just take a big breath here and let it all go. And then you can remove your prop. And then once you have your prop removed, set it aside, take your feet as wide as your mat, and let's just do windshield wipers, nice and slow, so you can let those hips drop and really release your lower back and hips. And then just do a couple more back and forth here. And then we're going to bring our legs back to center. We're going to let the knees drop into your chest. And then we're going to reach up with our hands and hold on to our feet and come into happy baby pose. So then you can just rock. And then we're going to release the feet and we're going to stretch our arms and legs up and we're going to circle the wrists and the ankles, just letting that all release. And then we'll do some dancing bugs. So your bug's gonna dance on the ceiling here. So just shake out the arms and legs, just releasing any tension in your body. And then the most important pose of the whole class is going to be our Shavasana. So I want you to just find a spot that you can rest in. So maybe you're going to stay here on the floor, maybe you're going to move to a seated position, or you can do, if you have a wall nearby, you can do legs up the wall. You can keep your knees bent if that feels better on your body to do, and you can put something under your head to support. So go ahead and get yourself comfortable. And I'll guide you guys through your Shavasana. And then at the end, I have a poem by Mary Oliver. I love Mary Oliver. She's all about nature, and a lot of her poems have to do with that. So we'll end with that. So go ahead and get comfortable. Allow yourself to settle in to your Shavasana. And then once you're down, we're going to take a big breath in through the nose. And then as you exhale, just let all of your breath out. And then just feel all of your muscles starting to release as you just settle into the support of the earth. And then tending to your breath, allowing it to flow in and out with ease. And just allow the mind to start to let go. And then just feel all of the muscles on your legs start to release. The toes, the feet, the ankles, the shins. And then softening the backs of your legs, your calves and your hamstrings, your quadriceps and your hip flexors. And then feel your hip bones. Feel them really heavy, feel them dropping down. And then we're just opening up and relaxing your belly. So I want your breath to feel like it's very easeful to move down there into the belly. And let your lower back release. And then moving up your spine to your middle back and to your upper back and the tops of your shoulders. And then from the tops of your shoulders, just let that relaxation trickle down into your hands and fingers. And then softening across your chest and your heart center. Feel your throat soften, your neck and the back of your head. And then softening from the top of your head, softening down to your forehead and your eyebrows and your eyes. Softening from the inner corners of your eyes all the way out to your temples. And then from your temples to your ears. And from your ears to your jaw. So as you soften your jaw, just gently part your lips. Let your tongue rest gently in your mouth. Feel your breath flowing in and out of your nose. And then letting go of any distracting thoughts, staying present with just that breath. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Slowly start to bring your awareness back into your body. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes, and then spreading that movement up into your legs and arms. And then deepening your breath, maybe a stretch. And then when you're ready, bending your knees. Maybe hug them into your chest, windshield wiper them. And then just take your time to slowly roll to your right side. And then easing yourself up into a comfortable seat. And then once you arrive in your seat, we're going to close the eyes. And then just take a moment here to notice. Notice our bodies. Notice your mind. And notice your breath. And on that next in-breath, we're going to circle the arms up over our head and then join your palms together, exhaling them right into your heart. And then closing your eyes, allow your chin to lower towards your chest. Return to that intention that you set for your practice today, honoring the earth. Find gratitude. And then on your in-breath, moving your thumb knuckles up to your third eye point. And then just taking with you all that you practice today out into the rest of your day and finding appreciation for all of the beauty around us. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you, guys.